Hi. So, before we even begin to talk about what I think curriculum is, you need to know who I am. My name is Miranda. This is my last year at Westminster, so I'm psyched to be taking this summer class and student teach in the fall and finish up everything in the spring. When trying to define what curriculum is, the only thing that I could come up with was lesson planning on a bigger scale. When we create lesson plans, we are always creating a lesson plan, or at least usually creating a lesson plan, with a specific objective in mind, right? Right. So, but when we create curriculum, shouldn't that also be our goal? I think so. So, in my opinion, when creating curriculum, it's basically lesson planning on a larger scale, like I said before. But we may have a specific outcome in mind and a specific objective, but it may take us longer to get to that objective. But I think that curriculum should be created not only by the teacher, but I think that the students are central to that creation of the curriculum. In my opinion, curriculum is dependent upon three things. One of those things is who my students are. The second thing is, what do my students already know? What is their prior knowledge? Where have they come from? What kinds of experiences have they had on the outside that are coming into my classroom? And how is that going to, what is that going to do to our time together? And the third thing is, what do they hope to learn from our time together? So I have my ideas of what I want us to get done, and I'm sure that the school and the principals and whatnot will have standards for me to adhere to, but ultimately it's about the student and what they hope to get out of it, and that's where empowerment comes in. So the second part of this video asks us to reflect on how curriculum has impacted us. The one instance that I can remember is my sophomore year in my English class. We lost one of our really good friends that year, and he was in our class, and his name was Clint, and he was killed in a car accident that happened out in the country. There were 3 people involved in the accident, and 2 of the 3 were in our class, in our English class. But our teacher could see that we were, having trouble seeing that empty desk in our classroom every day, and she didn't want to go on reading. We were reading probably Hamlet or something. I don't know, it was a sophomore English class. It's probably what you do, right? She could see that we couldn't do it anymore. Like, we just couldn't do it anymore. So she created a new curriculum. Basically, we wrote poetry for the remainder of the year, and put all the poems together and gave them to Clint's parents. That really showed me that she wasn't concerned with getting through Hamlet or whatever we were reading. She was concerned with our well-being as students, as people. We weren't just her students. We were these young people, these young adults that had just gone through something that we needed some kind of outlet. And so she used poetry as our vehicle for expressing ourselves. We put together the book, and she made copies of the book for everybody. That was the most that I've ever been impacted by a teacher and her curriculum. And her ability to adapt the curriculum when she saw that it wasn't going to work for us anymore, and she knew that we needed some sort of outlet, some sort of expressive outlet. She really allowed us to feel, and that's how I was most impacted by curriculum. When I talked about how curriculum depends on 3 things, how it depends on who they are, who the students are, where they've been, what they've learned, and what they want to get from me. And in order for that to take place, there needs to be a certain level of trust within the group, between me and the students and each other. The idea of curriculum being student-centered and even created by the students is something that I feel very strongly about. You can't actually know what you're going to teach until you know what your kids know, right? Chapter 11 says there's a section on learning versus questioning, right? You can learn something and take it in, but until you question it, I don't think you've actually really learned. My students, who they are, where they've been, what they've learned, what they're going to learn from me, what they want to learn from me, but I hope that they question me, and I hope that you question me. So, good luck with your videos.